So I'm a part of a group, and this group has been the Walk Away campaign. I did my own Walk Away video months ago. No, a couple years ago now, actually. Hasn't it been? Yeah, something like that. And then I did one that was the Walk Away versus Dem Exit, because the Dem Exit people seem to be more never Trumpers, but never Democrat either. So maybe leftist. Uh, Considering one of the New York Times editors, I think, is just quit because it's become an illiberal place, and it has been for a while. The rest of us know this, but she was never Trumper too. She was one of those die-hard Democrats, gotta vote for Biden, vote blue no matter who type people. Right? She was a piece of work. She'd let enough of the Trump support slip through the New York Times to make them seem as they're not biased, but we all know they are. And considering my last video and the way New York Times would edit it shit, it's pretty obvious. In fact, if you go to their comments section and read some of the comments, they're all major diehard Trump is the devil supporters, and racist for the matter. It's pretty egregious to say the least. But Walk Away campaign, since the riots for the last 2 months, since Antifa decided to start their socialist revolution, since they started taking over areas in cities like the Chaz and the no-go zone in DC they tried before they got wiped out pretty quickly, or the Wendy's that got torched and then owned by the local black militia or some shit. I can't remember if it was gang members or whatnot. They just took it over. It wasn't until politicians got protested at their house, the ones that were very much supporting these people, that they took action. Now, these politicians need to be removed, period. They weren't doing their job. They weren't upholding the peace. They weren't protecting the citizenry. Their job isn't to protect communists trying to take over our country. They don't give a fuck about these politicians. In fact, the no-go zone was set up so that they don't have police, so they don't have the infrastructure and politics and government. They want their own government, their socialist government with one party. They want to be like China, suppress everything and hide everything. The only people that need to know are the party. And even then, only people in the top ends of the party. The rest of you don't need to know. Can they pass a law to do literally anything they want? Yeah, sure. They don't need your permission. Once you gave them all the power, what power do you have? None.
Oh, damn it. Gotta start again.
So where does that leave you? Well, the Walk Away campaign is a campaign to vote Republican instead of Democrat. It is the people that are switching teams, as it were. And I've noticed, I've been a part of that group for a while, just reading stories, kind of lurking in the background, just every once in a while I'll chime in or like a post or something, especially if I like what they had to say. And I've noticed they have had a major, and I mean big, major uptick in walkaways. And I noticed one particular theme in most of these in the last month or so. Every last one of them started mentioning the riots, the destruction of statues and property, the fact that Democrats would do nothing, COVID was mentioned so many times, and the way it was handled, and how Biden said it was racist and xenophobic to lock down the airports and lock out China and all this other stuff, and Pelosi and her stunt about, COVID's no big problem, come down to the lunar festival with the Asian markets and stuff, you'll enjoy it, it's fun. I mean, seriously. They were playing it off as if it was nothing. Now it's the biggest thing since sliced bread. Why? Because they think it'll make Trump look bad. That's the only reason they're doing it. But the thing is, the this movement, this campaign has seen a rise, an uptick. And I don't have the statistics or numbers because I'm not an admin or anything like that, so I can't tell you how many people joined in the last little while. But there has been a surge, and it's a massive surge. So the reason why I say this is because the polls and all that say that freaking Biden's gonna win. It's neck and neck. It's kind of tied. All the polls that have been wrong for so long. There was a poll that came out with the CNN that said freaking Biden has it in the bag.
Well, lad, I'm gonna show you some of my kung fu. That's called hitting the head.
Well, they said that with Hillary too, now didn't they? And they were dead wrong with that as well. So this is no different. I think we're seeing an uptick, and I think there's going to be a landslide. My question then becomes, what happens after Trump? I mean, seriously, once he's done and over with, his second term's over. What's next? Who's next? Those are some pretty bombastic, kind of arrogant shoes to fill. Will we get another career politician in the mix? Who else is going to run with the same kind of attitude? They ain't going to put up with shit that puts it out on the table. Do any of those politicians really understand how he became so popular? It wasn't because of his movies or his stupid schemes or the fact that he had Trump towers literally everywhere. No. The one thing that was the most powerful thing that he had was his Twitter. For better or for worse. I mean, there's some really big trash on that feed. Like, the guy, he has no filter. Let's put it that way. He has no filter, and he says some really stupid shit. But that's what people liked. They don't like career politicians that never talk to you, that never come out and say hello or do anything else. But he did. He held his rallies like once a month as well. In every state. Especially the states he won. Because he's arrogant. But what other president does that? None of them have. Who goes out and talks to the people? He had a winning formula. If he wasn't so much of an asshole, maybe more people would like him. But you would never see Hillary do that. You have to pay her to show up. If that makes sense to you. You have to pay her to show up. She ain't going to do a speaking engagement unless there's money involved and she's making it. Anyways, this rise, this uptick in the Walk Away campaign, I don't think it's just them. I think there's many others that aren't going to say anything, that have joined and just not said anything. There's quite a few that actually said, well, I was here for a few months now and I hadn't said anything, but now here's my story. Because they felt emboldened because so many other people have joined and shared theirs. And I'm not talking about a few. There has been a lot. So I'm not making any predictions here, but I'm pretty confident that people don't realize how pissed off they are at the Democrats and the left in general, and the commie sons of bitches that think they can step in and just take over this country and run things the way they want to. They're really pissed off about the crime rate going through the goddamn roof and the politicians doing literally nothing at all. They are not happy about any of this shit. Neither am I, to be honest. But commies never get power without blood. Socialism never starts without death. They got to scalp a few before they can maintain power. And then they intimidate everyone else. And I really hope that organizations figure out someday that this diversity and inclusion shit, the intersectionality that's weeded into their organizations, the stuff I really started fighting against in the first place, is cancer to a company. The moment you start virtue signaling, the moment you lose your sight of your goal, your product, your services. Now it's all about the morality of your goal, your project, your services. There is no morality in capitalism. It is an immoral system. It cares not for morality. It cares for profit. The only thing that keeps it in check is regulations. So heavy regulations, too much, like a scolded child. Not enough regulations, spoiled little bastard that gets away with little everything. Moderacy is the key. Always has been, always will. You need enough regulations to stop companies from doing stupid shit. That's it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go check out the Walk Away campaign. I recommend it. There's some really interesting stories there, and you'd be surprised. They're up on Facebook. But there's so many people that are ditching. And I would not be surprised if Trump gets the popular vote this time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
I've completed my work. Time for me to go.